Hey everyone, Grant here for the Flame Learning channel. In this video series, we're going to look at conforming sequences in the Flame 2018 products. These workflows particularly apply to Flame and Flame Assist. Now, in every production scenario, you will probably be faced with some type of conform at one stage or another. So the Flame 2018 products have a whole range of conforming tools to deal with most scenarios. We're talking about EDLs, XMLs, and AAFs. Flame 2018 also supports these formats from a range of products such as Avid Media Composer, Apple Final Cut Pro, and Adobe Premiere, to name a few. Please check the online documentation for a list of supported products and versions. If you would like to follow along, please click the link in the YouTube description to download the media. Alternatively, if you're watching the podcast version of this video, then type the displayed link in your favorite web browser. In part 1 of this series, we'll kick off with a basic conform. This is a very straightforward scenario, and things should work in a perfect sense. For example, perhaps your editing app is on the same machine, and the file paths are all mapped the same. The metadata is consistent in the production pipeline, and you've even had the added benefit of keeping your media organized. It would be amazing if this was the case all the time. Now, with all that taken into account, things should instantly link up. So starting in a fresh Flame project, switch to the Conform view. To load an EDL, AAF, or XML, right-click in the events list and choose the first option. This launches a file browser, and you could navigate to the downloaded files. Double-click on the AAF to call up the preview window. Here you will find all the metadata relating to the AAF. Unlike EDLs, which are just single-layer timelines containing only type name and timecode, AAFs and XMLs are pretty smart and retain tons of metadata such as resolutions, file paths, file names, timecodes, timeline layering, and more. This information comes from the exporting application. Flame can use all the existing metadata as it is, but if you need to, the AAF and XML menu gives you the option to change settings before you build the sequence in Flame. For example, if the offline edit was done using low-resolution media, the AAF will store this information. In Flame, you could force the AAF to conform at higher resolutions by changing these settings. Now, the other options you have for easy conforming is that Flame can use the original file paths inside the AAF and XML in order to locate and link to the media. If it can't reach the media's original location, Flame can then perform a search within the vicinity of this AAF as an alternative location for the media. Obviously, in this case, the media is in the same directory as the AAF. You could tell Flame to step up a directory level or two and widen its search. Flame always scans the current directory and within any subdirectories at the current level. The final option I'd like to bring to your attention is the match criteria. Once Flame has located the media, it needs to know how to associate the files to the sequence. Click the Match Criteria button. With the majority of work being file-based these days, normally you can just associate the media to the AAF or XML based on the file name. Enable this option and disable the others. If you were conforming an EDL, you would use tape name and source timecode because the EDL format is very basic compared to an AAF or XML. We'll cover the match criteria in much more detail in the next video. Set the match criteria and import the AAF. In the Conform view, all the events should be automatically linked, and you can verify this by the chain icons in the event list and by scrubbing the sequence. If you switch to the timeline view, you can see we have a fully assembled sequence that perfectly linked to its media. Now, like I said in the beginning of this video, it would be brilliant if this happened every time. Unfortunately, there are so many variables when it comes to conforming that a bit of manual intervention may be required to get the timeline into shape. So in part 2 of Conforming in the Flame 2018 products, we'll look at a more advanced example of what could potentially happen and how to deal with it. Be sure to check out the other features, workflows, and updates to the Flame 2018 products. Comments, feedback, and suggestions are always welcome and appreciated. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to the Flame Learning channel for future videos.